Broad jumping is a complex event. It demands a full knowledge of fundamentals and close attention to details. Speed is essential, but sprinting ability does not assure success in the jump. If not controlled, speed can defeat you. Develop forward momentum during the approach, then divert it into upward and forward momentum. Timing and coordination often compensate for a lack of natural speed. Success depends upon diligent application of fundamentals. Fix this recommended 1, 2, 3 action firmly in your mind. Most broad jumpers use 1, 2, or 3 strides in the air. The 3 stride is the best and most easily learned. The 2 stride is a bad compromise. The 1 stride shown here should resemble a hurdle clearance. Here again is the orthodox 1 stride in the air jump. The body is a machine. Develop its working parts through calisthenics. The bicycle movement, by loosening the body joints, will make the legs more efficient. The complete program of the broad jumper should include a type of exercise that loosens the upper body. The body is composed of 2 working parts, the legs and the torso. Don't develop one at the expense of the other. Coordination depends upon a balanced development. Mobility of pelvis and hips, natural to children, is easily lost by adults. By loosening these areas, you develop a full stride. This difficult but well-performed calisthenic is particularly suited to the needs of the broad jumper. It strengthens the stomach muscles and loosens the spine joint controlling the head. Broad jumping demands stride precision on the runway, at the takeoff, in the air, and on the track. Notice how arms and legs balance the body in this complete stride, which is the result of a progressive start. Study the athlete's style on the runway. Concentration on the takeoff board has changed his leg action slightly, but his stride remains natural. Compare the full stride footprints on the track with the last 2 or 3 full strides made on the runway. Track and runway strides should be equal in length. The first phase in broad jumping is to develop a running effort that does not vary. Keep your eyes on the takeoff board. This broad jumper makes the mistake of using an overstretch of the front leg. He violates a basic rule of running by working with both legs instead of the rear leg only. Use your momentum to lift you upward into the air. It is wasted after you land. A mechanical start is of vital importance. When you have decided upon a style, make it a habit. Here is a procedure that should be followed by all broad jumpers. This man carefully measures to determine the position of his back foot. Check closely the spacing of the first 3 steps for progressive uniformity. Broad jumpers use various methods to develop a starting habit. Some prefer a walking approach to the line. Others favor variations of the fixed start, shown here. Standing with the weight on the back leg while using a forward foot roll to drive off the front leg is perhaps the ideal method. Experiment to find your style. Determine the distance you need to reach your high point of speed. The style used here, once popular, is not recommended. It pulls you down faster. Therefore, you lose distance. The 1, 2, 3 style automatically produces a correct landing. This broad jumper is in a perfect position to relax the knees and fall forward. Footprints tell the story of a successful landing. Heels are in line. Feet are close together. During the run and at the takeoff, this broad jumper shows an excellent body angle. Backward lean is needed for upward lift. At the takeoff, the athlete's body weight correctly swings over the takeoff foot to add force to the upward lift. The leg action and widespread landing are spectacular, but lose distance. Here the broad jumper, lacking backward lean, lifts his chin and stiffens his upper body in an effort to compensate. The distance of the jump largely depends upon the speed of the run. Through experimentation, make your jump at the moment your top speed is reached, not before or after. Here the right arm is lifted upward. For the perfect takeoff, both arms should be fully tensed and drive upward together. The arms should remain upright in the air and act as balancers. This broad jumper displays good running style, except that he uses a permanent bent knee action. The back leg push is not completed, and so full driving force is not realized. Straighten the knee to ensure complete hip action. For perfection, the broad jumper should use all of the board. Otherwise, this is an excellent takeoff. The foot roll is completed with proper ball of the foot pressure. Result, upward and forward momentum. When clearing 24 feet, use 8 feet on the first stride. Here is the second stride. All strides in the air should resemble strides on the ground. In the third stride, the front leg is not balanced by the back leg. The landing should be natural, not forced. Get your height immediately. This exercise is an invaluable aid in gaining quick height and in synchronizing the knee lift with the foot spring. It teaches the fundamentals of the 1-2-3 running style. Get your elevation at the takeoff. It's a matter of elementary physics that you can't go any higher by contorting in the air. Use natural full-length strides just before the takeoff. Do not lengthen or shorten the final 3 strides, unless this compromise is absolutely essential to make the board. It is a mistaken theory that a vigorous foot stamp, evident here because the athlete has missed the board, will give added height and distance. Actually, it deadens lift. Work for a light impact. Try both a hard and soft takeoff and notice the difference. Broad jumpers are always competing against gravity. The 1-2-3 style is recommended. It creates less friction. Its action is demonstrated. Step 1 starts with a knee lift. Step 2 is a normal hip and knee action. Step 3 is a duplication of Step 2. Most broad jumpers preferring this style use only the knee action and leave the number of strides to chance. The length of your strides in the air, as on the ground, should be equal. If the athlete takes off with his left leg, the left arm will naturally go forward and upward at the time of the leap. The other arm, however, tends to get out of position because opposition action forces it to the rear at the time of the takeoff. Make a circular upward lift with the rear arm so that it will go upward and not backward. In conclusion, coast on the last strides so that you can concentrate on jumping. At the takeoff, gain quick height, and distance will take care of itself. Convert your body into a projectile by tying it together with tension. To get championship distance in the broad jump, know what you are doing when you launch your body into the air.